Welcome to the metal element segment, lung and large intestine meridians, and sourced from the 5th chakra. We're going to first go over the primary aspects of the metal element, followed by its relationship to the 5th chakra. So grab your worksheet if you are going to follow along, or just listen. So the primary aspects of the metal element rules the immune system and the respiratory system. It's related to how we breathe in life. You know, do we just take it in at the very top of the lungs, or are we able to breathe it in deeply down into the lower lobes of the lungs? So that's just one way that we can take a look how we breathe. How do we relate to life? Because there's a very direct connection to that. The primary relationship is with the greater community. The need of the mind is self-expression, and emotional opposites are grief and happiness. Sourced from the 5th chakra, the time of day for the lung is 3 to 5 a.m. That's when the energies are the strongest for the lung. Large intestine, 5 to 7 a.m. That's when the energies are the strongest for the large intestine. That's why one of the recommendations is to get up early before the sunrise and go outside and do pranayama, or even just take a couple of deep breaths, because the oxygen is the most concentrated at that time of day. And that's also when the energies are the highest through the lungs. So it's really energizing and a fantastic way to start your day. Go out and breathe that densely oxygenated air and do some strong pranayama practices if you're able. Maybe more in the warmer months, but you can actually do it in the winter. I did it this past winter, went outside before dawn, just bundled up, and really, really energizing. Great way to wake up in the morning. So relation to the 5th chakra. For the lung, the 5th chakra is associated with expressing creativity, speaking and acting out our truth. The lungs represent how we interact with the outside world, since it's the organ that is most intimately connected with our environment, right? Because you're taking in the air each and every breath. You're connecting with the outside world through the lungs. When there is an imbalance or lack of flow in this energy center, we edit our creative expression and truth of who we are to fit accepted cultural standards. When this center is open and flowing, we are able to breathe in life fully, speak our truth without holding back. And this may be different in different situations in our life. In our work environment, we may be able to express ourselves really creatively, and maybe with our family of origin, we're not quite so able to do that. In our primary relationships, we might be able to, and then with certain friendships, maybe not. So, it just depends. You may be able to express yourself completely and authentically in every aspect of your life, which is really an ideal situation, but usually not the case for most of us, right? So this center is also intimately connected with how we communicate in general. However, it is not the only center involved. Our style of communication depends on what other centers we are connecting with at the time of communication. If we're connected with our heart center, we communicate from a place of truth and authenticity. If we're connected with our solar plexus, we may be communicating from a place more centered in ego and self-protection. It really depends on what the energies are like in the solar plexus. But just in general, as an example of, we may be communicating from different aspects of ourselves in different centers depending on the situation. The lungs are also connected with the emotion of grief. Often, if feelings of grief were not expressed, they will show up in the physical body as respiratory dysfunctions. So if you get colds frequently, the nose is running, the eyes are running. If you're getting frequent colds, that sometimes can be an indication that there's some held back grief that needs to be expressed. And one way for the body to do that, to help to release that energy, is through a cold or allergies, either one. The large intestine and the fifth chakra. Many people in our culture associate creative expression with possession of consumer goods, like what we wear, how we decorate our homes, what we drive. And this may truly be an outlet for creativity, but the gift of the large intestine in the fifth chakra is to help discern what holds true value for us. It is the ability to let go of material possessions or desires that are not truly serving our highest expression of creativity, and knowing what holds true value for us in nurturing our self-expression. So there's nothing wrong with having nice material possessions, nothing at all. But there can be a time when that becomes imbalanced and you're spending more financial resources than you actually have to obtain these things, to find a sense of value in yourself. Say, well, I need to drive this sort of car to feel good about myself, or I need to present your way in a certain aspect in the world. I need to live in this neighborhood, in this house, even though it may be straining me financially. So that's where we get into trouble with that. We need to let go of some of those ideas of what we need that to look like to truly live our authentic self in the world. And symptoms for imbalances in the metal element can be respiratory problems, frequent colds and flu, skin problems, sore or scratchy throat. Plum pit chi in Chinese medicine is just a feeling like you have something stuck in your throat all the time when there's not something physically there. And that can be related also to the liver channel, usually those two together, lung and the liver imbalance. Difficulty with communication, inability to express emotions, strong attachments, difficulty letting go of the past. So those are the basic aspects of the metal element, and now we're going to go ahead and proceed to our yoga practice, which is going to take us through the meridian flow, opening up the lung and large intestine channels. For this particular practice, we're going to finish up with a Nadi Shodhana pranayama, since we're going to be working through opening up the lungs and creating more space for our breath. We're going to finish with the wonderful pranayama series. So I'll see you on the mat.